Here we are in the new shop, and Fraser just wanted to kind of go over this one because we did a lot of footage with the building B, building 2, whatever we want to call it, and that's where all the machinery is and all that fun stuff. But here is where we get to finish the knives and do like all the sharpening and tumbling and anodizing and final assembly. And yeah, it's really, really nice to have such a big space to work on this stuff with. And we have a lot of room to grow, if you can't see or hear from the echo in here. Which is good, because the new machinery should outproduce us with parts again, which is going to be nuts. But yeah, in the old shop we had very little space. We were, especially Yo and I in the finishing department, we were just up on the little balcony there, and we're kind of scooting around each other and working, side by side, and it got a little tight and, hard to move around as freely. Whereas here, we're not in each other's way at all, and we have the freedom to set things up however we want, and with new tools and everything that's, going to be coming in this year, we have all the room to kind of set it up into the perfect workflow and everything. So yeah, right here is just our kind of staging section where we have all my finished blades. They're these ones are all acid washed and tumbled already, like that one. And we have all our finished handles that have, they've all been anodized, set up, and they're just ready to go. So yeah, we got anodizing over there with Yo's kind of set up prep station here. And we were able to separate the anodizing station so it's not all on this table, because that was what was causing a lot of the cramped space with us before. And then we moved down here and just all in a line, we've got our 2 RBs used for, finishing up the blades and getting them ready for tumbling or acid washing or whatever. But then I also use them in a line after I sharpen a knife. I sharpen it, and then I go to the RB here and final buff the edge, and then do a little bit with another Scotch-Brite wheel. And then it goes back to assembly. So there's less walking back and forth than there was in the old shop, but still a little bit. But this guy gets a lot more room to play around. We don't trip over him nearly as much, actually. Whereas before, he would be right behind us all the time, and we just turn around and walk right into him. So yeah, now let's go into the other portion of the shop. That's enough. Where it's a bit noisier, but we've got our air compressor. And now that one's totally our own air compressor. We're not sharing with the other shop anymore, which is nice because it hardly goes on anymore. Whereas before it would go on every 5 to 10 minutes. And we got the tumbler. That's running all the time, but it's nice to have a little bit of separation. And I plan to put in either the big vinyl flaps or something in between this door to help with the, separate some of the noise. And I want to put over here, I want to put in a double sink that'll go near the tumbler so we can wash off all the parts right there. and then dry them off and have it all done there instead of kind of walking back and forth to either that sink or the sink in the main portion of the shop. And then we got all our heat treat over here. Much more, nice setup. Less tripping hazards and stuff than the last shop. We're trying to keep as much stuff off the floor as possible. We got to get some shelves to help finish that, because obviously there's a bunch of stuff on the floor. But yeah, and this is just kind of the room with all the miscellaneous stuff, like the surface grinder that we use sometimes, but not all the time anymore. And it creates a ton of dust, so we didn't want much dust making stuff in the other building. And we got the Sharpening that Sky spent a bunch of time and a lot of hard work getting it all set up, specifically to make these carrier rings for the lapping machine. So we didn't have to take any downtime, or have the Mori do any downtime just to make these. So it can always be running, Norseman parts, basically. And we got a welder that we don't use yet, and we will attempt to use that at some point in the future. And then just Yo's finishing station for the handles, and a little bit of a staging area before going into the tumbler. And yeah, one of the other things that I really like about this shop is that in that corner, we have a bathroom. And in the offices back there, we have another bathroom. So there's no sharing or waiting for people to get out of the bathroom. In the old shop, we had 8 people and 1 bathroom, and 8 guys in a bathroom is not really ideal. There's pretty much always somebody in there. So now that's one of the good things. You just don't think about it. You're just in and out, never worrying about it. And yeah, on that we have a couple offices in the front that are not really used for offices. One's just got our fridge with, nothing really in it. Leftovers and stuff, and making tea. But other than that, we have a lot to improve and grow into this building, which is exciting for the future. Because there's a lot of potential and a lot of room for growth I'm extremely excited about. But other than that, last thing, windows. That's the other thing that we did not have in the last shop. So 5 years pretty much with 0 windows in the shop at all. So right now you can tell it's snowing, and we got windows through the office there, and you can tell it's snowing on the cars. And even on these garage doors, if I want, I can take the vinyl off the windows and have natural light in that side too. So yeah, just everything is better than the last shop. The last shop was just gross, disgusting, especially after 5 years. We did our best to clean it up, and painted and all that. But after 5 years, we did some damage and didn't have a lot of space to work around. So cleaning was not as easy, which is why we wanted to paint the floors and try to keep as much stuff off the floors here as possible, so we can keep it cleaner, so that we're happy for at least 5 years. Yeah, I think that's everything I can think of with this shop. It's fantastic, and it's going to be an epic year this year, just getting really set up in the shop and seeing what we can really do. So this is a buyer's choice knife. So they wanted everything the way that we have it right here. They wanted blue with gold accents and an acid etched and tumbled blade, which we've been getting a lot of requests for lately, which is awesome. They look really good, but they're quite a bit of extra work for us, so it's really nice to see that everybody does like them. What am I doing here? Not used to working in front of the camera very much.
Well, camera shy.
A little bit. Camera awkward.
Everyone's camera awkward.
Yeah.
So what's Erik's favorite combination? What's your go-to? When you see a knife that you and Yo put together, what's one of your favorites? Which is that one's damn good.
This one?
Which one's this? Here, run through.
It's just my kind of friends and family Norseman. I had some issues with the DLC on this, but still looks super good. And it's my birthday blade.
Kind of looks, your backside looks the same as mine.
A little bit.
Yeah. Pretty spicy.
Yeah.
So you're a big DLC guy?
Yes and no. Like, especially when we first started, like I was really into like black everything. You know, black on black on black. And I still like it, but I'm opening up to more colors and stuff. So, yeah, I can't say it's always my favorite, but with that knife, it definitely is. And the way it feels and everything is like it's nice and smooth, and it holds up a lot better. Like that's 2 years old or something, and there's still, it's all black, whereas all the anodized knives, you know, they eventually wear off. But like this is another one of my favorites, but you can hardly tell. It's blue with bronze flakes.
So what's the best pattern? What's the most underrated pattern?
Oh, underrated. Probably smooth.
Smooth is underrated.
Yeah.
Smooth feels darn good.
It does, yeah, and it just slides in your pocket, and you know, the honeycomb is great, but it can be a little bit rough, especially if your pants are a little bit tighter or you have a lot of junk in there, which I tend to do. So like the reverse honeycomb is a lot smoother for putting your hand in the pocket, but then the contoured, like the 3D knives are just, I kind of like them the most right now, and I think everybody else does too.
There's no thumb stud, dude. You just got the Spyderco hole in it.
Yeah, for now.
Look at that.
Yeah. That's one of the last things we put on. But I mean, what we're doing there is just, we're like seating in the lock and making it, you know, fit and so it doesn't wear in the future. Because if you don't do that and you do any kind of hard use in the wrong way, it could wear out in the future. So that way we just beat it down so it kind of sets forever. And it shows that, you know, we're not getting any lock fail or slip or anything. So each knife is good. And then I just make sure I have the right stop pin sizes. And from here I go out and sharpen.
The sharpening process. Absolute wizardry. So with the sharpening process, because I know you've been doing it for over 3,000 knives over the course of like better half of what, like 8-9 years now?
Yeah.
Give or take?
A little over 8 years, yeah.
So like getting into sharpening yourself, like beginner tips, like just getting started.
Okay. Well, with sharpening itself, I've been doing that for 14 years or so. So yeah, I've known how to sharpen, but sharpening on a belt, that was a new thing for me that I've been doing for about 7 years now, I think. So yeah, the main thing is, like, to begin, you need to learn the concept of sharpening itself, like just kind of the basics of bare minimum of what you need to accomplish, which, you know, for me is basically making sure that you go all the way till you see like an unbroken burr along the whole edge. If you can do that and then get that off, you're probably gonna have a pretty sharp knife, like very base level sharpening. And then it's just practicing and just keep going, keep doing it until you can get it smooth and consistent and, you know, everything looks the same. But it's still a work in progress. I'm learning something every week. And just, you know, seeing things that I didn't see before that I need to work on and keep doing better. Which is gonna be really fun when I start, you know, trying to pass off some of the sharpening to one or two of the other guys. So that's gonna be a very, very fun experience, to say the least, you know.
What's like, hold on, I this question. What's like the one thing that like people think is way easier, but it's actually not when it comes to sharpening? Is there a thing like that?
With sharpening?
Yeah. Like, what's like one of like the hardest things that people don't really see every time? They just see a sharp knife and they go like, oh yeah, it's pretty easy. But what's like one thing that goes into it that people don't really see?
I mean, really the consistency of kind of the start and the finish of the blade. You know, it's very easy to screw up on the tip. You know, while you're moving it around, it's very easy to round that and not get it as crisp and as even as you want it on both sides. So it's something I still, you know, work on every single day. So yeah, it's just the little things where you might not notice it, but you know, just being steady and not slipping can make a big difference. And yeah, I don't know. I've just been doing it for so long. I don't think about how I do it. I just keep on doing it and try to get better. Which is where trying to teach it will be a very good experience for me.